everyone, Zeddy here again with another Hearthstone Titans card review. We have 3 rogue cards revealed, including, what is Passage being power crept? We have 1 mana draw 3, and it ain't temporary. We'll take a look at that as well as some Burgle Rogue enthusiast cards. And well, if you want to win some of these cards, we have a giveaway going on of 2 standard pre-orders, 2 mega bundles at a My Pocket. All you have to do to enter that giveaway, like and comment in the video description below. Be subscribed to the channel. If we hit 71,000 subs by the 23rd, we'll add another mega bundle. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. So far, Rogue has had that Titan reveal that buffs minions and a magnetic mech. Do any of these cards go with that? Not really, but let's take a look. Maybe you can make something working. Well, the first card, it is a minion. You could buff it up. It is Kajamite or Kajamite. I don't know. Creation. 2 mana 3/2 minion. Doesn't have a tribe, anything like that. However, Battle Cry. Discover a spell from another class that costs 3 or less. It doesn't, I don't believe it gets a discount or anything. It'll just look for other spells from other classes that cost 3 or less. So like Infatize the Maxitude from Mage, right? Get infinite value, but basically Defile, anything that costs 3 or less. I mentioned 2 mana spells because Farsight from Shaman, there you go. There's a 3 mana spell. So yeah, you get a Burgle card, you can discover it, your test can replay that, and it's a more curated pool rather than just a spell from like period. So that can be good. Burgle Rogue, not the greatest. There is Secret Rogue going right now, and you could discover a secret. All secrets in the game are 3 or less, so that could be a thing. It's funny, didn't Discover used to come at a cost? It's a premium statted minion, Battlecry, discover a spell. Like, it's just, that's just the way the game is now, but ironically enough, I don't think the card's like a meta player or anything. You know, Burgle Rogue will play it, Thief Rogue will play it, but that's not a top tier deck whatsoever. I will give it a 2 out of 5 in standard and wild. Like, yeah, it's a Burgle Rogue card. People will have fun with it. I don't think it'll be like a top tier deck, a top tier card. Really good arena card as always. Basically, if the card discovers a card in arena, it's a good card for the most part. Almost always, because yeah, value is good and you're not really sacrificing that much tempo by playing a premium statted minion. And of course you could shadow step it and stuff like that, but overall, again, I don't think it'll be a big meta player, but again, Burgle Rogue players will be happy. I think I've said that like 20 times, but Burgle Rogue players are passionate. Every time there's a cool Burgle Rogue card, my comments are lit up by players that love playing it, even if they're not going to win a bunch of games. So I love that you know, that archetype always gets support, even if for the majority of the time, those cards aren't that great. People just like playing Burgle Rogue. So there you go. We have Gear Shift. 1 mana spell. This is the card I was alluding to. You shuffle the 2 leftmost cards into your in your hand into your deck. So you take them out of your hand and you shuffle them in. So and then you replace this card and those 2 cards by drawing 3 cards. You're basically swapping cards, right? For the most part, it's you throw away 2 cards, you spend a card, you get 3 cards, but this lets you cycle, this lets you do a lot of different stuff. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Finley, I guess, in an extent, but you're not shuffling copies or anything like that. I believe you're just shuffling those cards. So it's 1 mana draw 3, but not really, kind of. It's swapping cards around. It'd be pretty, I know power creep's pretty insane right now, but I don't think we're ready for complete pure 1 mana draw 3. Secret Passage, just think about that card. Was 1 mana, you basically drew 5 when that card came out, and then it was in your hand until the end of the turn. That is still one of the most broken cards in the game at 4 cards and sees play in wild. This can't really compare it, right? Because you're swapping cards around, but the way Rogue works, the way they want to cycle cards, this is still very efficient, and there's possible synergies alongside, you know, putting cards into your deck that didn't start there and all sorts of shenanigans. Like maybe you're playing Burgle Rogue and you're stuck with a bunch of useless Burgle cards on the left side of your hand, you want to just shuffle them out. That could be really efficient. You could redraw them right away, I think, because you shuffle it into there and then draw 3. So you might just shuffle the 2 or draw the 2 cards you shuffled, but overall, it's a decent little cycle card. These type of cards have seen play historically, and let's say your hand is empty, right? I believe it would just draw 3 cards. Like, if this is your only card, I believe, you know, you shuffle nothing because there's no cards there, then you draw 3. So you're playing Rogue, though. You don't really typically run out of cards, but can be a thing. And if you know anything about like weapon rogues and stuff, you're always looking for that weapon. And if you're playing something like that, you can just shuffle cards in and look for that weapon. So I think this card will see play. It's not a pure draw 3 card, but at the end of the day, it lets you cycle. It's just 1 mana. So that's pretty powerful, but I don't think it's like, you know, it's not Secret Passage. It's nothing like that, but it is still a card that I think will pop up. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. Where Wild, maybe you want to do this with like a Garrote Rogue, where that does work, where you shuffle and then draw and you can Garrote people or look for that weapon, where Kingsbane can be valuable. People run Finley in Kingsbane Rogue and Wild. You could throw this in there too, just trying to get those weapon buffs, those draws, flip through your deck. It might even be closer to a 4-star card, honestly. I might. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one to evaluate, but I do think it will see play. And then the last card we have here is Tar Slick, a 1 mana epic spell. Minions take double damage this turn, deal 1 damage. So you could play this, and it's basically but the I can't remember the enchant. What's the card called? Enchanter. It's the 3 mana spell, 3 mana minion. You play that minions take. I guess enemy minions take double damage. This is a double-sided 1 mana spell. So you play this in Fan of Knives. Your Fan of Knives is dealing 2 damage, or your minions are dealing double, right? So that could be pretty good. This deals 1 damage. I believe this can go face. Looks like it's targetable, so you could just deal face. Is this a good card? Does Rogue care about this? I feel like no. Like, they're so good at removing stuff already, whether it be concoctions that are deli shotting things, their serrated bone tooth spot. I can never remember the name of the 2 mana spell that deals 3, that cheats mana, but you combo with that, that's 6 damage. You're probably killing something for sure and cheating mana. There's some validity to it, like allowing you to control the board. I just feel like Rogue doesn't struggle at removing minions these days, and I don't feel like you'd need this too much, but it's only 1 mana. It does deal damage. You know, you can use this to, you know, hit a minion for 2 as well. There's possibilities. Again, I don't know what Rogue deck wants this, what Rogue deck is using it, but it's not like a lot of classes could probably use this a lot better. I'm looking at like Demon Hunter with like Unleash Fel. That would be disgusting. Priest with like Holy Nova and things like that. Rogue just doesn't. This feels like a card you really want AoEs for, and they just have Fan. They do have removal spells and minions they could play into it, but as it stands, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild. I just don't see it, and it does work both sided. So like, you know, you trade in with your minion's taking double that damage too. So it really kind of wants to be on one-sided effect. So I don't see it being that viable. 2 out of 5 in Standard and Wild, and that's all the Rogue cards for now. I believe there's 5 more to be revealed in like 3 or so hours. So stay tuned for that review. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.